Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Saturday, November the 10th. I'm Clay Emo at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm a founding member of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. The Canucks have just lost 4-3 in Buffalo to the Buffalo Sabres. The loss was by a shootout, so the Canucks do pick up a point. And coupled with their shootout loss in Detroit earlier in the week, and with their big win over Boston, in the 3 games on the road trip now, the Canucks have already picked up 4 out of a possible 6 points. And yeah, that's from only 1 win, of course. So it's kind of weird, but because they got their shootout loss points in the other 2 games that they lost, it's the equivalent of 2 wins. So 4 out of 6 points on these 3 games. Now they still got to finish off against the Rangers, the Islanders, and Minnesota, I believe. So 4 out of 6 is pretty good. And you can look at, if you're glass half full, that's like 2 wins, like I said. If you're glass half empty, you say, well, those are 2 points that they could have, also got. So they could actually be sitting with 6 points out of 6 games. They could have had 3 wins, but instead they are 1, 0, and 2, which is kind of weird. 4 points out of 6. So let's look at a couple things about this game, and then I want to throw an idea by you at the very end. So with this game itself, there are a few things that I liked. I'm not going to go through all the goals. The things that I liked the secondary scoring, both from forwards and D. We have Louis Eriksson continuing his hot streak. Jake Virtanen with his 7th goal of the game. Oh, by the way, for those of you that follow me on Twitter, you know that I didn't watch this game. My kids have bowling every Saturday morning, and sometimes I go with them when I'm not working. Today I did go, because we have our little men's, dad's bowling club on the side, or dad's group. So I tweeted a picture out. I did have the game up on one of the TVs there. But yes, I was bowling from 10 a.m. until noon on a Saturday morning. Not shotgunning. I wouldn't shotgun anyways. If I wasn't bowling, but certainly not shotgunning while I was bowling. I got to learn how to shotgun. And does it still count as a shotgun if I shotgun a Pepsi? Anyways, we can get to that another time. But Jake Virtanen scores his 7th goal of the year, which is exciting. And then, of course, the 3rd goal from Gudbranson, who now has a 5-game point streak. So when it comes to scoring itself, I liked what I saw, especially the secondary scoring. And that's today. It was Louis Eriksson off a nice feed from Marcus Granlund. It was Jake Virtanen on that rush, and it was Gudbranson once again scoring from the point. The Canucks are doing a pretty good job getting pucks to the net. They had almost 40 shots again, so it's not by lack of effort or not getting pucks to the net. Something small I noticed too. This might be me reaching here, but another thing I like about this team is they get excited when they score a goal. Like especially the first goal today when they tied it up. Horvat and Granlund, the way they mobbed Eriksson and were really pumped up. And you always want to get excited when you score a goal, but there are so many times last year where the Canucks, I guess, their goals didn't mean much, or you don't get too excited when you're already down 2 or 3 goals. But because they're winning, the team looks excited. The team is happy for each other. I even like watching their cellies this year. Their goal celebrations, pretty cool. And of course, the team is in a playoff spot right now, and they're playing well. They're obviously feeling very good about their game. Just something I noticed, anyways. Elias Pettersson, not on the score sheet, and I feel like I don't believe in jinxes or curses, but ever since we released our song a few days ago, in 2 games he hasn't scored, and he only has 1 assist, but hey, that's okay. Not the end of the world. I'm just waving to my neighbor there. But with Pettersson, I still think he had a decent game. Things happened when he was on the ice. Obviously, he was on the ice when Jake Virtanen scored that 2nd goal. Jake Virtanen's not even a breakaway, but he went around Zach Bogosian quite well. Bogosian almost lost an edge or stumbled a bit in Jake Virtanen, but he was using Pettersson as a decoy, and Pettersson had a good shift leading up to that Jake Virtanen goal, although he didn't get an assist. Also, of course, Pettersson had a chance to win it in overtime but his stick blew up on him as he tried that one-timer. Also had another chance to not necessarily win the game, but at least contribute in the shootout, but he's been stopped, so now he's 0 for 2 in shootouts, and I want to see him score, on his nice forehand backhand breakaway move, but that'll come, I'm sure. And of course, the move that led to the Jeff Skinner's overtime penalty was if it went in, oh my gosh, this would have been amazing. So that was the one where it was 3-on-3, it was even strength in overtime, last couple of minutes. Goodobin gains the line, goes to the circle, drops it back to Pettersson, and Pettersson basically tries to go through all 3 Buffalo players, and he almost did. He's a lefty, he went behind his back, through his feet, off of his right inner skate, back up to his forehand. And just as he was about to shoot, he got tripped by Skinner, but he had basically done the move, done the deke, and then, of course, if he would have scored in overtime, the place would have gone crazy. We wouldn't be worried, not that we're worried right now. Then I would have tweeted my video, my new song, about 2 dozen more times, and all would be awesome in the world. But alas, he got tripped. They did not score in the ensuing power play, and then Buffalo won in the shootout. The one negative from today's game is, of course, giving up 2 goals in the span of a minute in the last 3 minutes of the game. Canucks were up 3-1 all the way, from with 60 minutes left. You thought they had the game in hand. Then with 3 minutes left, Buffalo scored their 2 quick goals. One of them, it wasn't Pettersson's fault. The team was outnumbered 6 skaters to 5, but that was Jeff Skinner kind of going through the middle and then making his way to to the slot to put one behind Markstrom. And then the tying goal wasn't a great rebound by Markstrom. In a perfect world, we would love to see him put that rebound in the corner on the sideboards as opposed to directly out. And I think it surprised Tanev, who was rushing back. Markstrom made I think it was a shot off from Ristolainen. Markstrom let a soft rebound out, and I think it surprised Tanev, went past Tanev, and then I think it was Sam Reinhart that put it in. Then the shootout, Markstrom's just okay. He's been up and down, and Buffalo ended up scoring on 2 of their 3 shots. And it's the kind of last thing I want to bring up and kind of the point here. So before I get to that point, just to finish the thought. So overall, I think the game was, I admit I didn't watch the whole game, but I was able to catch up on it on the PVR. It looked kind of boring for the first minute, period and a half, with the only 1 goal from Buffalo, a really nice goal, that tip in from the side. But then it obviously picked up in the last part of the second period and then all of the third and overtime. And the Canucks played well, a good road game. They put themselves in a position to win. So that's all you can ask for. Ultimately, they get a point, 4 out of 6. Take it as a learning experience that they're going to learn how to protect leads, especially against an opponent that you wouldn't say isn't the strongest ever. But the Canucks aren't used to playing with lead, quite frankly. For the past 2 or 3 seasons, they haven't really nursed a lot of leads going to the third period. So, another positive we can take out of this is that they had the lead with 3 minutes left, and that they can learn, from their mistakes, hopefully, going forward. So up next is the Rangers on Monday, and then the Islanders on Tuesday. So one thought I had, this was billed as a big matchup between Rasmus Dahlin, this year's #1 overall pick, Elias Pettersson, last year's first-round 5th overall pick, the 2 Swedes. Then you, of course, have Casey Middlestad, who was taken just a few picks after Pettersson. I can't remember exactly right now where Middlestad was picked, but I'm pretty sure, I know Glass went 6, so Middlestad probably went 8 or 9. I can't remember that year. But regardless, so you had 3 really, hype rookies in this game. And it got me thinking, imagine if the Canucks are in a playoff spot or battling for a playoff spot, and imagine if Quinn Hughes' season ends with Michigan, ends early somehow. We don't want them to fail because of that. But imagine if Hughes comes and starts to play with the Vancouver Canucks in March and April, propelling them, leading them, joining them for a playoff run. Kind of like, I think Chris Tanev did that before. I think Charlie McAvoy's done that with Boston. But so it's not unheard of that a defenseman, especially, it seems like we're talking about D-men here, but a defenseman or any player would come up and join a team just in time for a playoff run. And so it's not unprecedented. And I thought about that today because obviously we know that Quinn Hughes was picked 7th this year, 6 picks after Rasmus Dahlin. Quinn Hughes was the first defenseman picked after Dahlin. Then Bouchard and Dobson, all those guys were picked afterwards. So as I watched, I thought about Dahlin. Today, I thought about Middlestad and Pettersson were the 2 of the prize forwards in the 2017 draft. In 2018 draft, it's Dahlin playing today. It's Quinn Hughes potentially playing, and I just thought it would be kind of cool if Hughes joined the team to help the Canucks make the playoffs, fortify a playoff spot, whatever it may be. And as I said in my tweets a couple days ago, we can not stop saying now it's a small sample size. We can stop saying that this is a mirage. The Canucks aren't going to win in every game, but you can see that they're in every game. They have a chance to win every single game, and that is a far cry from how we felt the last 3 seasons. So that's where we are today, Canucks fans. Again, they lost 4-3 in a shootout. Entertaining game, at least the second half of the game. Pettersson didn't do much, but at least on the score sheet. But we see secondary scoring. We had goals from guys like Eriksson, Virtanen, and Gudbranson. Decent goaltending. Buffalo got over just under 40 shots as well. So a lot of shots in this game. And I think a lot of positives that we can take. Canucks have 4 out of 6 points based on a 1-0-2 record on this 6-game road trip, the 3 games so far. So Canucks fans, this is what I'd love for you to comment down below. First, your thoughts on the game. Can Jake Virtanen keep this up? Can Erik Gudbranson keep this up? Can Louis Eriksson keep this up? So all 3 guys who scored today are all in the middle of really, really good hot streaks in November. So it's great to see. And remember, it's not an excuse, but it's a legitimate reason. We are doing this without Brock Besser, Sven Berchi, Brandon Sutter, Jay Beagle. That's 4 main forwards that are out. Anders Nilsson, our backup goalie, is out. And Alex Edler, our #1 D-man, is out. The difference between last year's team is they crumbled as soon as Bo Horvat got injured, among other players. This year, so far, they have been able to work through all the injuries that they are sustaining. So we'll see what happens going forward. We have a couple days, well, one day off tomorrow, and then the Canucks play in New York on our holiday. So hopefully we'll be able to catch that. Can't remember what time the game is, but I'll check that, and we'll figure that out for Monday for sure. So Canucks fans, leave a comment below. Virtanen's game, Eriksson's game, Gudbranson's game. Were you okay with Jacob Markstrom's game? Are you worried about Pettersson? No, what a stupid question. You're not worried about Pettersson, but I think we'd agree we'd like to see him score again now. It's been a couple games without a goal. Oh, God forbid. But yeah, we want to see him get going. And of course, what's your thoughts about Quinn Hughes joining the team? Do you think the Canucks will be fighting for a playoff spot in late March, early April, late March, let's say? And could Quinn Hughes be the guy who propels them either into a spot or maybe even to a first-round victory? Who knows? We've got a lot of time to think about it, but I'd like to be optimistic. I'd like to be positive. Okay, Canucks fans, leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, reply as always. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day in Vancouver. Long weekend. I'm in a good mood despite the loss. We got a point, and onward and upward we go. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.